Smith and Nelson in the morning on 94.9 KYSS FM. What they tweet, what they do, it's what's making news in the world of country music. This is the Music City 60 on 94.9 KYSS FM.
Yes, it is the Music City 60, and Music Mayhem magazine is saying that Blake Shelton and former NASCAR star Jimmy Johnson recently teamed up to design a new racing helmet for drivers in the Indy 500. Helmet is a tribute to veterans and honors their late fathers. Shelton saying, well, my dad was a veteran, not of the Korean War. He was in Korea just after the war, but he served as an honor guard over there. My brother was in the Army. My dad was also a huge Indy 500 fan. I mean, like, if Indy 500 was on, that was his Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You know, that was his holiday, and he would be extremely proud that I'm getting to do this. So, a pretty cool thing there.
It is very cool.
Yeah.
Story about Garth Brooks. He was performing Gillette Stadium, New England, where the Patriots play. Super fan in the audience had a sign that said, Bangor, Maine, 1992. I've saved your guitar pick for 30 years. You want it back? Which I guess Garth saw it during the show and ended up giving her a new guitar pick.
Oh, wow.
And also his guitar.
Okay.
That's how cool Garth is.
That is a solid get right there. Scotty McCreery tells CMT that he takes every song he writes to his wife to get her approval.
She's the quality control.
Apparently. He says, all of my songs go to her first. She's so honest, almost to a fault. She's like, not your best work. Or she's like, oh, this is a vibe. And then if we're all digging it, I'll send it to my boys and they will tell me.
Hopefully she doesn't do the more than the other one.
Yeah.
All right, Carrie Underwood, talking to Glamour magazine, says she once purchased a $2,000 sweatshirt and only wore it twice. Oh, those celebrities. But she's telling the story. She says it's kind of a mistake. Here's her quote. She says, my first stupid purchase was an accident. I was in Paris. I went into one of those big name brand fancy schmancy designers and I picked up a sweatshirt. And then when I went to check out, the sucker was $2,000.
Oh, man.
So I'm guessing at that point you're just kind of like, oh, yeah, I'll still take this, I guess.
So, yeah.
Yeah, sure. There you go. We all make bad purchases.
Of course, every once in a while.
Good to see that celebrities are right there with us.
And now you're in the know with Nashville. Smith and Nelson's Music City 60, 94.9 KYSS FM.
Montana's country leader, 94.9 KYSS FM. Smith and Nelson in the morning. We'll take a look at what's going on around town.
Yes,
here
we will.
In just moments. First, we're checking weather that runs right on through our holiday weekend. Well, waking up to some rain showers this morning. Looks like those are going to fade away. Going to have a day that looks decent, we'll say.
Okay.
Some clouds, maybe some sun trying to poke through. See a high today, right around 70, but later on for the evening, chance of showers back in the mix. Weather for the next few days, tomorrow low 60s, Sunday and Monday, pretty much kind of that same area, anywhere from 60, 62, 63 degrees. Weather for the morning is from the Advocates Injury Attorneys.
That's right. If you've been in an accident, don't go it alone. Call your local Advocates Injury Attorney. They take the stress away, deal with the insurance, and get you the settlement you deserve. They don't get paid until you win. Call the Advocates today at 406-640-4444 or MontanaAdvocates.com.
Local stories pulled from the KYSS FM mobile app. This is what's going on around town on 94.9 KYSS FM.
All right. All these stories you'll find with your KYSS FM mobile app, by the way. I think this was Monday when we shared this news.
Okay.
El Cazador, downtown, closing.
Yeah, tonight
Kind of a shocker.
is the final night in business for the El Caz downtown. Now, the South Avenue location is still going to be open.
They do have the two, yeah.
Yes, there will still be El Cazador in Missoula, but the downtown location, which has stood for 27 years, is no longer going to be there after tonight.
So squeeze in there. Grab yourself one last visit.
Yeah.
It's going to be kind of weird going down there and not having it there on the corner.
Definitely, yeah.
Tonight, we've got Paddleheads Baseball with what is supposed to be the first fireworks show of the year.
Yes, all of this weather permitting, because we woke up this morning and it was quite rainy.
We're going to be dry, it looks like, for most of the day. But then you start looking tonight at the chance of showers. Right around 8 o'clock, it looks like they kind of return.
Right.
And then 9 o'clock, they increase. And kind of right on through 11 o'clock, there's about 50% chance of showers.
Sounds about right.
Good news with the weatherman. Sometimes when they say 50% chance of showers, that could mean 0% chance of showers.
That's true,
So
yeah.
That's what we'll cross our fingers for.
50% chance means 50% chance that it won't
That's
shower.
right, exactly. So if we can squeeze in fireworks tonight, I don't want to have to postpone them, but Paddlehead's off to a nice start to the season. They've won the last 2 nights, so their first 2 games are 2-0.
Very cool.
Last year, of course, champions of the Pioneer League will do the championship flag giveaway tonight before the fireworks show. So fun night there over at Oakland Park.
Definitely.
Speaking of fun, tomorrow, hey, free carousel ride.
It is a carousel for Missoula's birthday.
27 years. So we're just saying it's a carousel in the Caz.
Weird.
Must have came in together.
Just about the same time, yeah.
So they're doing free rides tomorrow. It says for kids, but then also big kids. Kids at heart. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Carousel's open from 11 to 5:30 tomorrow. So stop by, snag a free ride, help celebrate their birthday. We have a schedule of events. You can find it with your KISS FM mobile app for Memorial Day and ceremonies that will be happening on Monday.
Missoula leads the nation in the amount of Memorial Day wreath ceremonies that happen around town, which is pretty incredible.
First one starts at 7 a.m. at the Western Montana State Veterans Cemetery, and they kind of just continue through the early part of the morning and into the afternoon, and then the latest one actually starts at 4 o'clock. So it's pretty much the big bulk of the day. There's some sort of ceremony happening. And then finally, the new terminal at the airport. They're ready to roll here on June 8th.
It's finally ready to be happening?
Which they had an opening date set for early May.
Yeah, they had to push it back another month.
Yeah, they gave them kind of like almost a 30-day extension, but they're going to have an open house next week on Tuesday. Basically anybody, stop in, check out the new features at the airport.
Oh, very cool.
And check out the terminal before passengers and airlines start using it on the 8th.
Right.
Woo! There you go.
That's a lot of stuff happening.
That's a busy one this morning.
That's a big what's going on around town segment.
All right, yeah. What's going on around town, all the details with all the stories we just shared. You'll find them all with your KISS FM mobile app.
Yep, this is your local country morning show. No bones about it. Smith and Nelson on 94.9 KISS FM.
Look for locals
newsy and noteworthy. And it's now on 94.9 KISS FM.
Yes, it is. What's newsy and noteworthy for your morning. This photo kind of went viral last week on day 2 of the PGA Championship. Someone snapped a picture of Tiger Woods' second shot in the first hole. Went viral because all the fans behind him were on their phones filming it, except for one guy who was holding his Michelob Ultra.
I didn't see this picture. I didn't see the story.
It's pretty funny. You see everybody like intently like with their phones, everybody out, and this guy's just like standing there with his beer. He was just in the moment, focused on Tiger's shots. Michelob Ultra tracked the guy down. They just gave him an endorsement deal.
That is awesome.
They're calling him the Michelob guy. They're selling merch with his photo on it. They thought it worked well with the slogan they've been using for a while, which is, it's only worth it if you enjoy it. And there's even talk of a commemorative beer can with his photo, too.
That's cool.
This guy's a public accountant from Kansas City. Just in an interview said, look, the whole experience has been pretty crazy. Does not sound like he's in it for the money. They're offering him access to more PGA events and copious amounts of free beer.
That's great. What a cool deal.
Right place at the right time.
Kind of a bummer story yesterday. Actor Ray Liotta passing away.
Yeah.
I think I know him best for Field of Dreams and
Goodfellas.
Goodfellas, yeah. Died in his sleep in the Dominican Republic, and he was there shooting a movie. But I was kind of reading some of the stuff about that yesterday, and one of the things was he did an interview once where he was saying that he was kind of in the running, maybe, to be Batman.
I mean, that sounds like around that time. That sounds about right.
We're talking back like the original Michael Keaton Batman.
Yeah.
He said Tim Burton getting ready to do the movie, and he said he was interested in Ray Liotta for the part, because he wanted it to be edgy and real. This is Ray Liotta talking. He said, I thought, Batman? That's a stupid idea. even though Tim Burton had just done one of his favorite movies of all time, Beetlejuice, he said, yeah, I regret not doing that one.
Yeah, fair enough. Ray Liotta also recently in the Sopranos movie from last year, The Many Saints of Newark, which is very good in, by the way. The world's largest bottle of whiskey was just auctioned off, and it's huge. The bottle is almost 6 feet tall. Contains 311 liters of 32-year-old Macallan single malt. It is roughly the equivalent of 444 standard bottles of whiskey. Bottles sold for around $1.4 million at an auction in the UK. Anonymous buyer, international, and the bottle was called the Intrepid. It was officially certified by Guinness World Records as the largest when it was bottled last year.
That's crazy.
That's going to be one big party whenever they open that bottle.
Cool conversation piece, though.
Definitely, yeah.
You're off to see a new Top Gun movie tonight.
That's the plan.
This is kind of a cool story. It was just kind of some details about the movie, and it says that the movie had to pay the U.S. Navy $11,000 an hour to use fighter jets so they could do some filming. It says Tom Cruise could be in the cockpit, but wasn't allowed to touch any of the controls. The cast, they filmed him sitting behind an F-18 pilot. So it kind of sounds like the pilot was in the fighter jet, and then the cast was behind. They had to kind of do the angles right. But it says they all had to go undergo emergency training. They had to know how to survive at sea and how to eject from the planes if there was some sort of crash that would happen. Man, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, now Tom Cruise always goes like so all out with his stunts for his movies.
He had
and stuff.
to be just like itching, like let me touch something.
Yeah,
let me touch something.
Exactly. This kind of goes around every year. We talked about another recent incident which happened in Montana because there was an old law on the books which says if a student brings their horse to school, a principal has to take care of that horse. Right? We talked about that recently at a high school in northern Montana in Conrad. 12 students all rode horses to school on the same day. This happened on Monday, and of course, the principal had to take care of all of them. He had work cut out for him, I guess.
I think the early stories from graduation season here was just, it happened a place or two with a person.
Yeah, one kid. This sounds like a big coordinated attack.
They all teamed up. Like, well, yeah, let's make the principal take care of 12 horses.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like the principals are always like, oh, yeah, we'll be a good sport about it. But then a bunch of kids show up all at once. Like, you don't really have a choice but to take care of these horses.
That's funny. All right, final one here. It says a porch pirate in Denver recently returned the package he stole. So the victim's Ring doorbell camera caught it. The guy was stealing the package. So she put the video on Facebook and the Nextdoor app. One of the neighbors kind of recognized the thief was wearing a shirt that had like a work logo on it.
Okay.
So the victim contacted the company's manager. A few days later, the thief returns the package with a note that read, "I'm really sorry I took your package. I felt horrible and it cost me my job because of it. So I just wanted to return your belongings, do the right thing. I can promise you it won't happen again. I'm really sorry."
Wow.
Or AKA, I'm really sorry I got caught, I guess.
That might be more
or
accurate.
Even more, I opened it, it was junk, so here you can just have it anyway.
There you go.
But I guess still kind of cool.
Yeah, it's nice.
All right, there you go. Newsy and noteworthy for your Friday.
Country and Connor is Montana's country leader. 94.9 KISS FM.
Montana's country leader, 94.9 KISS FM. Smith and Nelson on your Friday. Don't forget, 8:15 this morning, we have Dierks Bentley tickets to give away.
Your chance to go see Dierks Bentley live at the Adams Center.
All right, it's Friday. I mean, that's always exciting because they're heading into the weekend. This being a holiday weekend.
Yes.
Of course, Memorial Day on Monday. Kind of saw this story this morning. We're kind of looking through these, and there's a couple in there. I was like, huh, that's a fact I didn't know.
Yeah, things you might not know about Memorial Day, essentially. So the first one I will say is one that I think most people probably do know.
Yes.
Which is that Memorial Day is always observed on the last Monday of May. That seems like a pretty fairly common knowledge
That
one, I
is
would
not
say.
one I read and went, huh.
Who knew? Yeah, so of course, the last Monday of May is always Memorial Day. That's May 30th this year. But did you know Memorial Day was also called Decoration Day for a long time? Actually, from 1868 to 1970. So for over 100 years. Didn't become Memorial Day until 1971. And that's also when we began observing it on the last Monday of May.
I would guess Decoration Day because you're probably like decorating grave sites. Or...
Right, something like that. Yeah, I guess they just wanted to rename it, change it a little bit. But Memorial Day became the official thing in 1971. The Department of Veterans Affairs say that Memorial Day is celebrated in late May because it's when flowers are likely to be blooming across the country.
That makes sense.
It does. Yeah, obviously it's a big flower day. And there is an exact moment of remembrance on Memorial Day. If you want to do the official time, 3 p.m. local time, wherever you are in the country, that's the time you're supposed to pause and remember the brave men and women who died in service to our nation.
That one I did not know.
Neither did
I
I.
didn't know there was an exact time.
Yeah, I kind of thought it was just the whole day.
Yeah,
but
right.
No, there's an exact time that you're supposed to do it, and that is 3 p.m. Also, the Ironton Lawrence Memorial Day Parade in Ironton, Ohio, is the oldest continuously running Memorial Day parade in the nation, which goes back all the way to 1868.
Wow.
Back when it was Decoration Day.
Yeah, right.
The parade was actually held in 2020 during COVID, but it took place with no spectators. Lasted 17 minutes, usually last a couple of hours. But they went forth anyway, just to kind of say, hey, we did
They
it.
could still say they are the
Longest run.
Yeah, right.
There you go. And then finally, the bugle call taps, of course, the iconic bugle call that plays at military funerals, as well as the annual Memorial Day wreath ceremony at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. It was adapted from a separate Civil War bugle call known as Scott Tattoo, which was used to signal lights out. So that's where taps came from.
Some interesting stuff there.
There you go. Yeah, and of course, Memorial Day this Monday, as we all know.
Yes, it is. And we mentioned this a little earlier, actually, when we were talking about what's going on around town. But here in Missoula, a lineup of ceremonies on Monday. as apparently we're the leader.
We lead the nation in terms of wreath ceremonies on Memorial Day, which is a pretty wild stat.
First one starts at 7 o'clock on Monday, and it kind of goes all through the mid-morning, and then actually right on through the afternoon.
Yeah.
With the last one being
There's
at
a
4
bunch.
o'clock. Yeah. All right. If you want to get a complete list of I believe there's 12 different ceremonies on Monday around Missoula. You want to get a complete list, locations, times, what's happening at each. We have it laid out for you with your KISS FM mobile app.
This part of Smith and Nelson in the Morning brought to you by Hunter Bay Coffee, Montana's premium gourmet coffee roaster.
It is never
Smith and Nelson's Odds and Ends on 94.9 KISS FM.
Yes, it is. Some odds and ends for your morning. It's been kind of a common thing to see recently where older artists are selling their entire music catalog for hundreds of millions of dollars. Now it's not just for old people anymore, because Justin Timberlake, who's 41, just sold his music catalog for about $100 million.
Man, it's a nice lump sum.
That really is. Although that only includes the songs he had a hand in writing, which pretty much excludes a lot of the material from NSYNC. But all his original stuff, that still covers around 200 songs. And they say, they're talking to the head of the company that bought the songs, and they're saying, like, in the case of these younger songwriters, they're looking to de-risk their future, be put in a position where they can make music for pure purposes rather than do what they do for money. When older artists do it, it's usually to provide for their families because they know they're on their way out.
That's a lot of money, though.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one. There's a story about a beer that's being made from sewage water. They're selling it in Singapore. The water agency launched the beer after they found a way to recycle wastewater.
Okay.
So it's tested, cleaned, tested again before they use it in the brewing process. It's on sale in stores and bars across Japan. I don't know that I'm doing that.
No.
There's always one person that's bad at their job.
Sure. Yeah, that's true.
And if that one job is to clean the sewage water before I'm drinking it, I don't know if I'm down with that.
Yeah, that's fair. New season of Stranger Things dropped today, which people are very excited about. And actually, yesterday, Netflix tacked on a last-minute warning onto the first episode, thanks to the elementary school shooting in Texas. The warning states the first scene contains violence involving children, and, quote, given the recent tragic shooting at a school in Texas, viewers may find the opening scene of episode 1 distressing. We are deeply saddened by this unspeakable violence, and our hearts go out to every family mourning a loved one.
Yeah, boy. Seems like there's a story every day about someone calling 911 for ridiculous reasons.
Sure.
Here's your one for the day. A man in London calling police on the local pub because his French fries didn't have enough chili cheese sauce on them. I mean, he tried to handle the situation. It says he complained about it and talked to the manager. The manager said, hey, I'll give you a refund. I'm not giving you any more chili cheese. And then, because the guy got hot about the whole deal, he took the offer back and said, fine, you can't have a refund then.
Wow.
And that's when the guy called the police, where they actually showed up, talked to both parties, and had them work it out.
Well, that's good at least. I'm glad they reached a fair compromise, I guess. Engineers at Northwestern recently built the tiniest remote control robot ever made. It's pretty cool. It looks like a crab, but it's smaller than a flea. It's about a 0.5 millimeter wide.
Wow.
It looks like something you would see in like a Marvel movie or a James Bond movie or something. Like, they say it could be like a huge breakthrough in terms of these tiny little things that could do like big tasks.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That is wild. Some stuff that happened on this day. This date, 1930, masking tape was patented. This date, 1987, the noise level from U2's concert in Rome sets off earthquake alarms.
Oh, man.
That's pretty crazy.
And they still haven't found what they're looking for.
And then this date, in 1995, Christopher Reeve was paralyzed when he was thrown from his horse during a jumping event.
Man.
And there you go. For your morning, odds and ends with 94.9 KISS FM.
When it's country in Houston, it's Montana's country leader, 94.9 KISS FM.
When you're new in
Smith and Nelson in the morning, 94.9 KISS FM. It is a Friday. We're going into the weekend, and it's a holiday weekend as well. And if that's not enough to have you feeling good on your Friday, well, maybe we need to top you off with some good news stories.
Some heartwarming, good news stories happening around the country and around the world. Mom in Louisiana lost her son in a car crash 2 years ago, which was, of course, a tragedy, very sad. Donated his organs. Earlier this month, she got to meet the boy who got her son's heart.
Wow.
And there's a video going around, pretty amazing, of her getting to hear the son's heart beats again within the kid.
Oh, I bet that was just super emotional meeting.
Absolutely a tearjerker for sure. So, that's going around online. In lighter news, over 2,000 students from 3 high schools in Indiana may have set a new record for largest game of Duck, Duck, Goose.
May have. Are we still trying to get to the bottom?
They are waiting on Guinness to confirm. But, largest game of Duck, Duck, Goose, which, hey, that's...
Be exhausted. You sit in the circle, you get up and run around the circle for Duck, Duck, Goose, right?
I mean, that's true. That's a very big circle that you'd have to run around.
It's like the only game of Duck, Duck, Goose. You probably cross your finger. Don't pick me. Don't pick me.
Please
don't pick me.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's me. Now I got to run around 3,000 people in a circle.
Yeah, absolutely. So there you go. But they have set the new record, which that's pretty cool. CNN just did a big story on this guy from Italy who runs several restaurants in England where actual Italian moms do all the cooking. He brings 3 new moms and grandmothers in every few months.
Wow.
And then they use their own recipes, most of them in their 60s or older.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Because then the menu's always changing every time you go back and you experience something new. That's a great idea.
Absolutely. Yeah, pretty awesome. So hopefully that's something that catches on here in the States. That'd be great.
I like that. That's fun.
Yeah. And then finally, this is a pretty crazy story. A fire tore through a cat shelter in Largo, Florida over the weekend. Sadly, a lot of cats didn't make it out, but dozens did. Because of a dedicated cat lover named Laura Kyle. She kept running back into the burning building to save as many cats as she could.
Wow.
Ended up in the ICU with serious burns and smoke inhalation. But
man.
her coworkers say she would have kept going back in if firefighters had not pulled her away from the scene.
Man, bless her.
Yeah, and now people online are donating to a GoFundMe page to cover her medical bills, which is up over $75,000 as of this point, which that's a pretty incredible thing right there.
That is very cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And there you go. Those are your good news stories for the day.
FM. You know, newsworthy nugget of the day with Smith and Nelson on 94.9 KISS FM.
Brought to you by Farside Sign, Missoula's leading full-service sign and custom vehicle graphic shop. Farside Sign in the 2200 block of South Avenue West.
All right, the nugget goes a little something like this. We find a little piece of information, something we go, bet you not everybody knows that.
Exactly.
And then we lay it on you.
That is the idea. And did you know the animal with the longest lifespan is a species of clam called the ocean quahog, and they live to around 400 years old. 400-year-old clams are out there.
Man.
Just under the ocean, which is a pretty wild thing. Second longest is the bowhead whale, and they live to about 211 years old. So the clam lives twice as long, but that's about 5 inches long. The whale is about 65 feet, which is kind of crazy to think about.
400 years.
400 years. That's a long time.
That's incredible.
It's got to be a really wise clam, I would imagine.
Yeah.
But there you go.
You could have something you could have the same thing that's 400 years old and 7 years old.
Yep.
Wow.
Pretty much. Need to or not, now you know.